Here's something that surprised me. The person who actually built Claude Code doesn't use it the way most tutorials tell you to. No giant prompt templates. No clever jailbreaks. Number 47 step mega workflows. His setup is almost embarrassingly simple, and that's exactly why it works. If you've been using Claude Code for a while, you've probably had this feeling. You give it a task, it goes off, it edits 10 files, half of them weren't supposed to change, and now you're cleaning up after it instead of shipping. You're fighting the tool instead of flowing with it. The creator's workflow fixes that. And you can copy the whole thing in about 10 minutes. So let's break it down. First, the problem. Most people open Claude Code, type a vague request like add authentication, and hope. Claude does its best, but it doesn't know your code-base conventions. It doesn't know which library you prefer. It doesn't know that one specific file you absolutely don't touch. So it guesses. And guessing across a real codebase means churn. The creator's workflow basically removes the guessing. Here's how. Step 1. The Claude.md file. This is the single biggest habit. Before doing anything else, you create a file called Claude.md in the root of your project. Claude Code reads it automatically every time you start a session. Inside, you write in plain English the things Claude needs to know that aren't obvious from the code. Stuff like which package manager you use, the testing command, the lint command, weird conventions, files to leave alone. The creator updates this every time Claude does something he didn't want. If Claude makes the same mistake twice, that's a Claude.md problem, not a Claude problem. You can also run the /command/init and Claude will draft one for you by reading the codebase. Then you edit it down. Honestly, this one habit alone changes everything. Step 2. Plan mode before code. There's a mode in Claude Code called Plan mode. You toggle it on and Claude can read files, search, think, but it cannot edit anything. The creator uses this constantly. Before any non-trivial change, he switches to Plan mode and asks Claude to write out the plan. He reads it. He pushes back. He asks why this approach and not that one. Only when the plan looks right does he let Claude execute. The reason this works, Claude is much better at following a plan you both agreed on than at inventing one mid-edit. Skipping the plan is where most of the wasted edits come from. Step 3. Small commits, tight feedback loops. The creator commits often. Like, almost annoyingly often. After every meaningful change he can describe in one sentence, he commits. Why does this matter? 2 reasons. 1. When Claude does go off the rails, git reset is your undo button, and a small commit means you only lose a small amount of work. 2. Claude itself works better when the diff is small. You can ask Claude to review what it just did, and a tight diff means the review is actually focused. Big sprawling changes hide bugs in plain sight. Step 4. Subagents for the boring stuff. This is the move most people miss. Claude Code can spawn subagents, separate Claude instances that run a task and report back. The creator uses these for searching the codebase, reading documentation, running test suites, anything that would otherwise pollute the main conversation with thousands of lines of output. The main agent stays focused on the actual problem. The subagent goes off, does the grunt work, comes back with a summary. You can do this just by asking Claude to use the explore agent or spawn a subagent to find every place we call this function. Try it once. You'll feel the difference. Step 5, and this one is more of a habit than a command. He talks to Claude like a colleague, not a search box. Full sentences. Context about why he's doing the thing. What he's already tried. What he doesn't want. The vibe is closer to pair programming than to Googling. In my experience, this is the hardest habit to build because we've all been trained by years of search engines to type 3 keywords. Claude actually does better with a paragraph. Let me show you what this looks like in practice. Yesterday I was fixing a bug in a small bun server. Old me would have typed fix the upload endpoint, it's returning 500. New me workflow me open plan mode first. I said something like, the upload endpoint returns 500 on files over 10 megs. Don't touch the auth middleware. We use motor equivalent for bun. Plan a fix. Claude came back with a 3-step plan. One step was wrong, it wanted to add a new dependency I didn't need. I pushed back. It revised. I exited plan mode. Claude made the change in one file. I committed. Done. Maybe 12 minutes. The old way would have been an hour of cleanup. Now, a quick honest note. None of this is magic. Claude still makes mistakes. The Claude.md file doesn't fix everything. Plan mode sometimes produces plans you have to throw out. Subagents occasionally summarize the wrong thing. The workflow doesn't make Claude perfect, it just removes the easy ways to waste time, so when problems happen, they're real problems worth solving, not self-inflicted ones. So here's your 10-minute copy. Open your project. Run /init and let Claude draft to Claude.md. Edit it down to the stuff that actually matters for your codebase. Save it. Next time you start a real task, hit plan mode first and read the plan before you let it touch anything. Commit small. When the work gets noisy, spawn a subagent. That's it. That's the whole thing. If this helped, hit like, it genuinely helps the channel. Subscribe if you want more honest AI workflow breakdowns, no hype. And drop a comment with your biggest Claude Code challenge, the one that keeps tripping you up. I read all of them, and the most common ones become the next video. See you in the next one.